What's going on? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing. And man, this is the biggest week in boxing history. We yesterday we literally had, my opinion, the number one pound for pound fighter cement himself as the number one pound for pound fighter in dominating, dropping, and stopping Stephen Fulton in just absolute fantastic fashion. I had him winning every single round up until the knockout. So this was like, well, and you know what pisses me off is that when I said on Twitter, like, yo, no matter what happens on Saturday, Inoue's number one pound for pound. Yo, a bunch of casuals. Oh, how could you say that? This, that, and the third. Look what Bud's accomplished. Who has Inoue beat? This, that, and the third. I'm like, yo, bro, just say you don't know boxing. Just say you don't know the lower weights. Just say you don't know who he is or who his opponents are. So for you to say some shit like that lets me know that you don't know boxing like that. Because if you knew boxing like that, you would know that Inoue, I don't want to say like he's number one pound for pound, and every other answer other than that is incorrect. I mean, but to say that Inoue doesn't have an argument is absolute silliness. It's absolute ignorance. Honestly, it's ignorance, to be honest. That's what it is, because there is no way you can look at how dominant he's been, particularly with the knockouts, and say, oh, yeah, no, but, Spence is better. Crawford is better. Usyk is better. It's like their resumes are better. They're a better fighter. They're more skilled. It's like, bro, what are you watching? If you unbiasedly watched every single top 10 pound for pound fighter, you would just say, listen, let's just say you knew nothing about the opponents. You would go, I don't know, the Asian guy who's knocking everybody out in the first, second round, then goes up, moves up, beats somebody down in Fulton, and destroys him in 8 rounds in his first fight at the weight class to become unified. Give me that guy. You're not going to tell me you see a Crawford fight and then you see an Inoue fight and you say, oh, Crawford's better than that guy. There's no, if you watch each of their last 10 fights, there's no way you can watch each of Crawford's last 10 fights and compare it to Inoue's last 10 fights and go, yeah, no, Crawford's better. I'm sorry, especially when you take into consideration the level of competition. There's no way. There's no way. Same thing with Usyk. Usyk has had close fights with Joshua. You know what I'm saying? And that fight with none, I can't remember no fight Inoue was in that was close. People want to remind me the Donaire fight was close because he broke his face. I remember he broke his cheekbone, then he broke his nose. Oh yes, those were vicious shots, and still couldn't knock him out. And he still lost something like, I want to say 9-3 and got dropped. And then for an exclamation point, rematched him and knocked him out after he went and got a belt, knocked him out in 2 rounds. So it's like, yo, what the fuck are we doing? Like at this point, like either you're not watching boxing or you just a hater or you biased or whatever. But there's no way somebody can make an argument that he's number one pound for pound and you totally dismiss it. No way. Shout out to Sakib for the £2 super chat, because I'm international with it. Just because I'm the voice of Dominican boxing does not mean you can't pay me in euros or pounds or whatever your currency is. Send me a Bitcoin or two. Anyways, it says, to reiterate, Naoya Inoue hurts Shakur Stevenson. That was a tweet he had put out. I quote retweeted and said, Stevenson finally loses a fantasy matchup, and Shakur even retweeted it. It was actually pretty funny. But yeah, man, like, yo, and Inoue, again, to me, he was already number one pound for pound. Already number one pound for pound, considering his dominance. This was just the exclamation point that, to me, that I don't care what happens this Saturday. I really don't. Because if Crawford wins, he has a so-so resume. I want to say so-so. He has a good resume. And then this will probably elevate it to a very good resume. I don't even think it goes to great resume. I think Inoue has a great resume. And then again, when you add on top of the fact that he has all these knockouts, there's no way. Yo, I read an article today. Let me see if I can find it. Explain to you for the fans that just don't understand how good he is, and you get what I'm saying. Don't understand. Uh, hold on one second. Don't understand just the level of dominance and who he's beat. You know, because a lot of people go, yeah, but like who has he beat? Shout out to Boxing Scene and Cliff Rolled. 1 second. Yeah. So, all right, let me screen share this real quick. Yeah, just so y'all can understand just how good Inoue is. And by the way, we'll get to Spence and Crawford. Just give me 1 second. So it says this article is from Boxing Scene, written by Cliff Rolled. Shout out to Cliff Rolled. It says over the last 9 years, Inoue has fought 4 guys ranked number 1 or next highest after Inoue by TBRB, ring, or both when Inoue beat them. So basically, he's either fought the number 1 contender in the division, or he himself is the number 1 contender and is fighting the next guy closest to him. So he's done that 4 times over the last over the last 9 years. So he beat Adrian Hernandez at 108, knocked him out in 6 rounds. Omar Narvaez knocked him out in 2 rounds. Nonito Donaire, the rematch, knocked him out in 2 rounds. And Stephen Fulton knocked him out in 8. So you're telling me in the last 9 years, you got 4 number 1 ranked guys, and each of them you knocked out? Nobody went past the 8th? Like, who? If for the people that's saying that the winner this Saturday is over, like, show me the same way I just showed you a stat like that. You show me who they beat that's number 1 ranked like that. You get what I'm saying? I know Crawford, he undisputed 140, so I'm sure he did it there. If he beat Spence, he would have done it there as well. But it's like, okay, that's 2. Let's give him somebody at 35. That's 3. That still doesn't match up to Inoue's 4. You get what I'm saying? And then on top of that, like, Inoue's beating a bunch of other like top 5 guys, top 4, top 3, top 10. Just in between the run. He went through that tournament, the World Boxing Super Series, and knocked everybody out with the exception of the final where he fought Donaire. So it's like, how is he not number 1 pound for pound? Like, there is no argument you can make to me. Now, I'll respect you. I'll listen to your argument. But there's no argument that you're going to be able to convince me. I'll just listen just because, you know, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, Crawford is a respectable guy, you know, especially if he beats Spence. You know, Usyk is a respectable guy, you know. But I just don't think what they have done in their career matches up to what Inoue is doing. I think we're watching something special. I think Inoue is an all-time great already right now. He can retire right now. He's an all-time great Hall of Fame fighter. And guess what? He's not done. He still possibly may undispute with what's his name? Tapales in his next fight. So he will have become undisputed in 2 divisions in less than a year or in a year. Like, yo, how crazy is that? Listen, I'm buzzing off that win. That guy is amazing. And also, it's making me think I got to make a video on this. Like, yo, Japan got the best baseball player in Shohei Ohtani, the best boxer in Naoya Inoue, and they just went undefeated and won a World Baseball Classic. You know what I'm saying? So Japan in athletics, man, you got to give it to them. You got to give them respect. They are producing top-notch athletes that are as good, if not better, than the ones coming out of America. And that's just as simple as that. We got to acknowledge that. Baseball's the American pastime. Again, the number 1 baseball player is Japanese, and it's not even close. Again, the World Baseball Classic, they have the most World Baseball Classic championships, and they just recently won it, the last one, and they won it by going undefeated. So Japanese athletics is on the up and up. We'll see. I'll keep an eye out now for a basketball player or a tennis player or whatever, or even Naomi Osaka. She's half Japanese and she's representing Japan, and I know she's a tennis player and she's really good. So, but yeah, no, interesting stuff that's happening out of there. But moving on to the fight this Saturday, probably the biggest fight of this era, I want to say. And I'm not saying monetarily biggest, I mean just biggest in terms of importance. Uh, because I don't consider Floyd Pacquiao this era, and even if you want to include it, it was important monetarily wise, but I don't think competitive wise. I think this fight is more. These two are more closer to their prime. How about that? Than Manny and Floyd were when they fought. So this is an interesting fight. Undisputed, man. Undisputed. Both undefeated. Both American. Both offensive fighters. This is going to be very, very interesting as to how that fight plays out. I don't see this fight being a bad fight. I can't picture this fight being boring. The only way I could see this fight being boring is if Crawford comes out with the game plan to box, because we've seen him box in the post-old fight and dominate that way and get a win. So, but I doubt it. I doubt it. This fight has way too much meaning. He's talked way too much. He's taken this way too personal. I think he's going to go and try to fight and try to win by KO. I really do. I really do think that that's what he's going to try to do. But I have a list here. I made a list written down as to what Spence has to do, what Crawford have to do to win. And then I'll explain who I have winning at the end. So first, I want to talk about what does Errol Spence has to do to beat Crawford. So the first thing I would say is make it an inside fight. You're the bigger guy. I also think he has a better inside game. He has a good way of framing his opponents. And what I mean by framing is, like, let's say he'll have him on the ropes. He'll throw a little chicken wing up while the guy's trying to escape that. Well, he'll throw a little chicken wing up, hold him on the ropes, and then start punching. Boom, boom, and then put his weight on him. You get what I'm saying? Do all that type of shit where he's keeping Bud close to him. I don't think he can win a fight at mid or especially not long distance against Crawford. I think Crawford has a little bit too much tools in the toolbox. I think his advantages mostly is his size, and I think on the inside he could break down Crawford by going to the body and again frame on him, push on him, lean on him, tire him out. You are the bigger guy. You will be the bigger guy in the ring by a good amount, I want to say, and I'm curious as to see what happens once the fight goes on the inside. Does Bud have the ability to keep him off of him? I don't think so. So I think his first step should be to try to make this an inside fight. The second step he should do is try to make this a war. Try to make this a fight where y'all exchanging punches. Now, I know Crawford's a big puncher. I believe he's on a 9 knockout streak or some shit like that. Like he's really doing his thing as far as the power. But I don't think a war is in the benefit of Crawford. He's smaller, as well as I think Spence has a lot more volume. So even if Crawford hits harder, he throws two hard punches. I think Spence will be throwing 5, 6, 7, and he'll be like, let's go. Trying to make it a war. So, and I don't think that's to Crawford's benefit. I think that's to Spence's benefit. So if I'm him, I'm trying to make this an inside fight. That's the first thing. Second thing, I'm making it a war. Now, the third thing is, win those early rounds, man. You got to win those early rounds, because those early rounds is the ones Crawford gives away. If you can win those rounds, with a statement and land hard punches and break him down a little bit, by the time Crawford has you downloaded, as they say, or have figured out what you're trying to do, and he wants to open up, if you beat on him those first few rounds, You could tire him out. You could break him down. You could make him a little bit weak. So by the time he wants to open up, he's a little bit tired. So the last thing is, yo, get this fight to a decision. Obviously, if you could get the knockout, get the knockout. But get this fight to a decision. You're the A side. You have more belts. You're the promoter's fighter. You're a PBC fighter, and and you're younger. I'm not saying that there's going to be controversy. I'm just saying when things are close, things usually go to the younger fighter, to the promoter's fighter, to the guy who has the more belts. So things usually break that way. And I'm not saying that there are anything malicious. I'm just saying that things tend to break that way. So if I'm you, obviously try to win as many rounds as possible. Try to get the knockout if possible. But if you could get this to a decision, hey, you never know. You never know. Now, for Crawford to win, right? So the first thing I want to say, this is the first thing, if he's watching this, is do not fight orthodox. I don't get why he fucking tries to do that shit. Like, to me, he always is losing those rounds, getting hit unnecessarily, looks a bit uncomfortable. I think him being a switch hitter is a bit overrated. I don't think he's that good orthodox. And now you cannot afford to lose rounds against Spence. Because once he starts going, once that motor starts going, and he starts throwing punches and starts getting comfortable, he's breaking you down with these body shots, you can't rely on, oh, no, I turn up in the second half of fights. You can't rely on that. So if I'm you, just start off southpaw. Just start off southpaw. Now, if you hurt your hand and is to your benefit of fighting orthodox, okay, God bless you. But come out and fight southpaw. Second thing I would say is use your legs. Try to keep this fight at a distance, whether it be mid-range or long distance, because I think that's the only way Spence could win, if he gets on the inside. I can't see him winning any other fight if he doesn't get on the inside. And I think, although Crawford is older, he may not have the legs he did in the Post-O fight. If we see that Post-O fight, he dominated those first 11 rounds, and then in the 12th round decided to go to war. Just because that's who he is. He's a fucking G. You know what I'm saying? He's like, fuck it. Let's exchange a little bit. Let's give the crowd some of their money's worth. So I think he should use his legs, keep him at a distance. And again, and this is the next step, land that counter right hook. Again, the reason I say counter right hook is because I want him fighting southpaw. So one of the things that Errol Spence does is a lot of times he'll pull with a jab or he'll throw a hard jab. And when he comes with that overhand left, he kind of falls with it. He'll throw his left and fall with it and then bring it back. Throw his left, fall with it, and then bring it back. Okay, now, if you're doing that against Crawford, you falling with it, and if he could time you, and Crawford is the best at the game in the game right now. Right now, currently, he's the best at throwing punches on his back foot while he's going backwards. If while he's missing that overhand left, he could consistently, take a step back and land that counter right hook, oh, he could possibly get the knockout. If that's what if he comes out and does that, takes that step back when Spence throws that overhand left and counter, boom, and landed on a consistent clip or landed in combination, boom, boom, I think he could get him out of there. I really, really do. I think if he could land that on a consistent clip, and I think he could. Now, I say all that to say this. I'm picking Crawford. Now, I will add this caveat. If this was Spence before the accident, I will be picking Spence. But there's the accident. There's the eye surgery. There's the long layoff he's had. He's coming off a 1.5 year layoff to fight arguably number one, not my number one, but arguably number one, top 5 at least, pound for pound fighter. Right? And then, right, I saw Spence in December in Las Vegas for the Rivera Martin fight. Looked a little big, man. He looked a little big. I ain't even gonna lie to you. He looked a little chunky, had a little gut on him. I was like, oh, like, and I'm a pretty big guy. I was like standing like literally a feet or 2 from him. uh, anywhere from 12 to 24 inches for the people who don't know, my international people who don't know feet. So he was pretty close to me. I was like, yo, I'm bigger than him, but I'm not much bigger than him. So he was very heavy. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he weighed 200, 190 pounds that day when I met him. So you looked heavy. So that means you not really in a gym like that. So since you're not really in the gym like that, you know what that means to me? That layoff may affect you. So that's why I bring up the layoff. And that's why I bring up him looking him heavy. Now, another thing about the weight. Yo, isn't it time for him to move up to 54? There's rumors that the rematch is going to be at 54, meaning like, all right, you already have that in mind. Like moving up in weight is something that you would like to do because it's beneficial to you. So people like to say he has a size advantage, but is his size advantage good? Like, meaning, is he cutting the weight and it's going to be like, oh no, it's to his advantage, or is it a disadvantage? Is he going to be cutting the weight too much, especially coming off a long layoff? Who knows? But that's a variable I'm not willing to take if I'm a betting man, and I'm not betting on this fight. So yeah. So again, the layoff, the weight draining, he looked heavy, the accident. I'm very confident in Crawford's counters, specifically that right hook. And again, to add that, the last point as to why I'm picking Crawford is the power. Now, again, I don't think that he gets a stoppage, although it's definitely a possibility. But I definitely think he hurts him and definitely drops him. Again, that counter right hook. As much film as I studied, I cannot see a world where it's not landing and then it's not landing consistently. And then if it's landing consistently, he's hurting you because Crawford has power. And if he throws them in combination, he can get you out of there. So I don't discount Crawford winning by KO. I really don't. And again, it may not even be so much the power. It may just be that he won't see it. He may be falling over and Bud, he thinks Bud's backing up. And while he's backing up, he's throwing that right hook and boom, drops him. And he gets up wobbly and he goes in for the kill and gets the stoppage because he's one of the best closers in boxing, if not the best closer. So it's like, I got to go Crawford. I got to go Crawford, man. Yo, Chris, I just literally explained why I switched my pick. Honestly, the most thing is the layoff, the accident, and then my concerns about the weight. So those are the three main reasons why I switched from picking Spence to Crawford. Now, if this fight happened 3-4 years back, I would be picking Spence, but it's not happening 4 years back. It's happening now. So I'm going Crawford. But either way, one thing I will say is 100% this fight has no chance of being a snooze fest, no chance of being boring, no chance. Like, it's two offensive fighters. One's a little bit more technical in the sense like he has all the fundamentals in Errol Spence, and then you have another guy who's very crafty, switches orthodox and southpaw, a thinking guy, does get hit, so that is something that Spence has going for him. He is going to be able to land on Crawford, so Crawford's defense is a little bit leaky. Now you could say Spence defense isn't the best either, and that's a fair criticism. But I wouldn't say his defense is more alarming than it is Crawford. Crawford definitely does get tagged a lot more by lesser opponents and by stuff that he shouldn't be getting caught with. So there is that element to Spence being able to land his punches and being the bigger guy, being heavy-handed, where he can have his success. So I look, I'm picking Crawford, but would I be surprised if Spence won? No. And honestly, now that I think about it, I wouldn't be surprised if either one. If either one won at any way, if Spence won by decision or Crawford won by decision, I wouldn't be shocked. And if either one of them won by KO, I wouldn't be shocked either. But I would be shocked if the fight's boring. That would floor me. I would be like, whoa. But I don't see this fight being boring. I don't. I really, really don't. And then the undercard is decent. You know, you got Nonito Donaire versus Santiago for a vacant WBC belt. And then you also got Isaac Cruz versus Giovanni Cabrera. I have not seen Giovanni Cabrera, but some knowledgeable boxing fans that I know are picking him to win. I'm not so sure that that's not people wishing he wins, because we know that Pitbull Cruz has turned down a lot of fights and is not willing to take a tough fight in between, and is taking this fight because he looks at it as an easy fight where it's like, oh, if I beat him, I get a tank fight, a tank rematch. So a lot of people are like, you know what, since you want to fucking do all that shit, I'm rooting for this guy. You get what I'm saying? Let's see, man. Let's see how that fight pans out. I am curious as to the Giovanni Cabrera guy. He's undefeated, and again, if people saying he has a shot, that's interesting to me, because I never seen him fight, and if I haven't seen you fight, most of the times it means you ain't good. You know, I watch boxing pretty closely, but we'll see. But damn, yeah, man. Hold on, let me throw the link up in the chat, man. And this is a big boxing week. Anybody who wants to call in, chop it up with Big Broadway, man. Y'all already know. Just click that link. I'm definitely excited for this weekend. Definitely excited. I don't know where I'm gonna watch it. I'm most likely my pops' crib. Probably go visit my pops. Haven't seen them in a minute. Probably go over there. If not, I'll figure it out. But yeah, man, it's a big fight, and finally we're getting it. Oh, shout out to Hurricane Hank. Shout out to you for reminding me. Thoughts on Albert Batir Gaziev versus Francis Villar Frometa. So Albert Batir Gaziev, I'm probably fucking that name up, but he's a Russian gold medalist. He just won gold, and he's ranked in the WBA. Frometa is also ranked for the WBA, and this is a lightweight fight. The winner of this fight will be highly ranked. Frometa, he is an aggressive fighter who kind of fights like he's a puncher, but he's really not a puncher like that. I do wish he used his right hand more. I'm curious as to if he's left-handed as opposed to right-handed, because he has a really good power jab, really good left hook, but doesn't use his right hand enough. So he will be fighting the WBA eliminated in the lightweight division in Russia against a Russian gold medalist. Now, I've seen this Russian guy, Batir Gaziev, and he's not, oh my God, elite. Like if Frometa could bother him, like could with his pressure, I could see him pulling it off. Now, can I see him knocking him out, which I think that's what he would need to get that win? I don't know, because he's not a puncher like that. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Also, there's another Dominican fighting. He's fighting on ESPN Plus. Rohan Polanco. He's fighting Francis Cesar Francis, who's actually from Brooklyn. He's a Panamanian guy. That's a tough fight, man. I don't like how Top Rank is throwing him in like that. That's a tough fight for, I believe he has 8-9 fights in his pro career. And Cesar Francis, although he doesn't have an exorbitant amount of fights, he has a lot of experience. I believe he's like 6'1", and he fights at 140. He's a big guy, and I know him personally. He's a good fighter. So that's one to watch out for. Because Polanco, again, he's still developing, and they throw him in against a guy who has experience against Ray Beltran and a couple other fighters. It's a tough fight. But enough about that, man. Let me know in the chat, or if y'all want to call in, let me know what y'all think of this weekend, man. Or what happened last night, man. Last night, it got so crazy. And I was so focused on the Inoue Fulton, I forgot Spence Crawford existed, man. Like, literally, I kept counting down the days, and anytime I would open up a Twitter space, if they were talking Spence Crawford, I wouldn't even go in, because I'm tired of talking about the fight. I've been talking about it for so long, and the people that be on the Twitter spaces, I already know their point of view, who they're rooting for, who they think are going to win, and it's the same arguments every fucking time. So I just would hop out. But Spence Inoue, I mean, excuse me, Fulton Inoue, man, that shit had me excited. And and also I kind of predicted what would happen. I did think Fulton was gonna have a little bit more success the first 2-3 rounds boxing, but not even that. Like Inoue just came out guns blazing, bothering him with the jab, controlling the distance, uh, and again using his boxing IQ. That knockout was beautiful. Kept jabbing to the body all fight, all fight, all fight. Then jabbed to the body and came with a quick overhand right, hurt him, and then dropped him with a left hook. Oof, that thing was a thing of beauty. Al Simmons, Hell Spawn, shout out to you, my brother. Although you be hating in the chat a lot, but who's De Los Santos fighting next? And Michelle. So De Los Santos, well, both don't have an opponent, and so this is pure me speculation. De Los Santos, I believe, will be fighting Frank Martin next. That's the only fight that makes sense. They both go in the WBC route. They're on the same timeline. They fought a week apart. Yeah, I want to say Frank Martin's the next fight. My prediction. Not that I have a source telling me. That's my prediction. And as far as Michelle, I want to say he comes back September, October. Probably against a tune-up. I wouldn't be surprised he's on the Canelo undercard. All jokes aside, I wouldn't be surprised on the Canelo undercard against a guy like a Pedraza co-made level. I'm not saying those guys because those guys are top rank affiliated, but I'm saying like somebody at that level, I wouldn't be surprised and he ends up on that Canelo card fighting that guy, fighting a guy like that. And I know you guys are going, oh my God, why would they put that on the undercard? These undercards in general, I'm saying, don't be like super stacked like that. They don't be like, like I remember going to Tank Hector. It had fucking Andrade against a tune-up. Although Rashidi Ellis versus Villa was a good fight, and I knew it was going to be a good fight. And then they had Boots versus that Karen guy, which we all thought he was gonna blow him out. It was a boring fight, but it wasn't a blowout. I mean, the judges had it 12-zip. It was a fight that nobody was asking for, and we weren't excited for. How about that? Same thing with the Tank Ryan. It was a bunch of fights, mismatches, and shit like that, or fights we didn't want to see. So I wouldn't be surprised they go with that same blueprint and just throw Michelle in against a tune-up and be like, yo, get that rust off on a Canelo undercard, get people familiar with your face again, and then we'll throw you on another card or, whatever, give you another opportunity. So that's what I think is next for both, to answer your question. I don't think Michelle's going to be fighting anybody of significance. He's not fighting no damn, because his next fight also is rumored to be at 140. I mean, at 138, not fully 135, not fully 140, 138, just to test out the weight. And if he feels like he needs to move up, he'll stay at 140. And if he feels like he needs to move back down, his next fight will be at 135. But the 138 is just kind of like a feel out. By the way, bad news for Dominican boxing. Alberto Puello has now been removed as champion in recess by the WBA and removed from their rankings. I don't understand that move because they provided the paperwork that they had this procedure and that's why the substance was in his system. I understand them not making him a champion in recess or removing the belt and stuff like that. But what I don't understand is them removing them from the rankings. I'll be honest with you. I didn't understand that. But, that's life, man. He didn't file the paperwork that he had this procedure beforehand. And now he's suffering the consequences. And the fact that, honestly, what the most part that bothers me is that he's being removed from the rankings, meaning like he's now at the back of the line and he's not going to be ranked in the sanctioned bodies because he was the champion under the WBA. So now for Puello to get an opportunity for a title shot, he's going to have to climb his way all the way back. And he's like 27, 28. It's not like, oh, he's 23. Let's just say it takes him 2-3 years to get back to title shot. He's good. But it's like, yo, he's 28. In 2-3 years, his career, he may have taken a big downturn. And like Puello's also not a draw, not like a big name, not even amongst the Dominican community. Like not a lot of you guys ask me about him. You guys usually ask about Carlos, Michelle, Elvis, and De Los Santos. Those are the guys you ask me about. You guys don't really ask me about Puello. So they may be like, why are we gonna give this guy an opportunity? He's not a big draw. He's not really a name. And he's currently not ranked in none of the sanctioned bodies. Why does he need to be on TV? His next fight may be in DR. Like, I'm being honest with you. I know you guys are not happy with the news I'm reporting, but again, it's news I'm reporting. It's not what I'm wishing on him. It's not. I'm just doing the math. This is what I'm thinking. Well, not news I'm reporting. Me giving my educated opinion. That's probably a better way of putting it than reporting news. This is an educated opinion. My educated opinion is it's going to be hard for him to get TV fights or stay active or get back in position to win a world title. Like, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Lucky for him, though, 140 is like PBC do have a lot of fighters. They have Elvis, which I hope they never fight. But, hey, you never know. That's a fight that could happen. Potentially Michelle moving up. Gary Antoine Russell, Brandon Lee, Subriel Matias. Who else they got? Sergey Lipinets. I don't think Jeremias Spence is with them. I think I don't think he's with them. I think that was just a one-off with PBC. But my point is they got options at 140. They got options. You know what I'm saying? There's fights there to be made if they want to put him in position. And they're gonna need opponents. Hey man, especially, that name on somebody's resume may be value to somebody. Like, you know what, fuck it, throw Puello in. He has an opportunity to that'd be a good name on his resume. And it may come out like, damn, like another Dominican upset. We were just throwing him in there to lose. Another Dominican upset. It's like, yeah, man. So we maybe he'll get an opportunity, but I think it's gonna be a long road. It's gonna be a long road. Unless they give him somebody like, let's say Gary Antoine Russell, they give it to him right away. Kind of like for him to lose to Russell and then he beats him, then okay. But we'll see. We'll see. It's tough out there, man. It's tough. It's tough for him. He's now off the rankings. There's a bunch of shit, man. There's a bunch of shit. But what's up, man? Nobody wants to call in? Let me throw the link back up. I don't know if you guys typing too much and they got lost in the sauce. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I like Subriel Matias. Matter of fact, it's funny y'all brought up Subriel Matias. Let me pull up his Instagram to show y'all something. He was talking that shit, man, in a good way. The only thing is, it leaves me confusion as to who he's gonna fight next. Me and him has spoken not long ago, and he told me he was fighting Lipinets. So I'm gonna screen share what right here. So this is what Subriel Matias posted on his Instagram. He said, Malik Hawkins 18-0, and he got the blood like he killed him. Batirzan Jukambayev 18-0, he did him. Jeremias Ponce did him in the last fight. I was there live for that. And then Shohan Ergashev, he's knocking on that door, 23-0. That's his mandatory, by the way. And then he says in his caption, I'll read it in English and Spanish. So he tags Dimitri Salida. He goes, firma la pelea, no confías en el gallo tuyo. ¿Qué pides números que él no vale? Acaba y firma. Ya la pelea, deje el miedo, quiero dinero, tiene que ganarme. Quiere dinero, tiene que ganarme. So I'll read now that right now in English. By the way, excuse my bad reading. It's just there was no periods, no commas, so I'm trying to figure out where do I stop. But so, like I mentioned, he tagged Salida. He goes, sign the fight, or you don't trust your rooster, asking for numbers that he's not worth. Just hurry up, finish, and sign the contract. The fight, stop the fear. Stop having fear. He wants money, but if he wants money, he has to win. Sorry, trying to translate this. I used Google Translate. That shit was terrible. I was trying to freestyle it. But anyways, oh, hold on. I got yo Pete. I'm gonna holler at you. I got a guest hopping on. We come back, call back later, Pete. All right, cool. J-Ro, what's going on, my brother?
Yo, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. First and foremost, I want to say thank you so much for hopping on. And so by the way, for the people listening, this guy is like Inoue's number one fan. Definitely very knowledgeable when it comes to the lower weights. A lot of the lower weight knowledge I have is from guys like him, guys like Cliff Rolled, Lord of the Flies, Too Slick, Luis Seja. So this is one of my lower weight guys. And he was doing a great job just reporting news. Like, where were you getting all this news you were reporting from? Because following you was like following any other journalist.
Oh man, I got a lot of connections in the lower weights. I got a lot of connections in Japan that hook me up with a lot of Japanese news. I'm good with Chocolatito's the team, Roman Gonzalez. So they share a lot of stuff with me. I'm really close with Robert Garcia, the trainer. So he gives me a lot of BAM news, Joshua Franco news, all his fighters in the lower weight news. So yeah, I got a good relationship with people.
Okay, so you got connections out in Japan because you were
Yeah,
reporting stuff where
yeah,
I'm like, how the fuck does he know that?
yeah. I got connections out of Japan. Correct.
That's dope. That's dope. Oh, I don't know. I lost him. I guess he lost service. But yeah, getting back to who he was, who he is, and for the people who know J-Ro, we'll get to we'll address everything. But yeah, man, as far as the lower weights, man, I know he had a relationship with Robert Garcia, but yeah, as far as the lower weights, ain't nobody fucking with there's a lot of guys that ain't fucking with him. Oh, you good? You want to be on camera?
Yeah, we can be on camera. I'm sorry, I've got bad connection here, so it don't matter. I'm
All right, cool.
driving right now, so.
No, it's cool, man. But yeah, man. All right, so I wanted to ask you, how big was this fight in Japan?
Dude, it was huge. It was the biggest fight they had, by a long shot. And also not only was the biggest fight they had over there, but it was I think most people here, it was the most watched fight for that early morning fight. It
It
was
was
bigger
big.
than Triple G Murata. Because Triple G Murata was pretty big, but it was bigger. It was a lot bigger. And we saw it here too in the States, where a lot of people were up in the morning talking about it. You had a lot of celebrities kind of talking about it, a lot of fighters talking about it. You didn't have that for Triple G Murata. This did a bigger gate than Triple G Murata. So it was huge.
Is this fight bigger than Buster Douglas Tyson, or is that like heavyweights
It-
don't count?
I don't think heavyweights count, and that's different, because that's Mike Tyson. They fought in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah.
The Tokyo Dome is the biggest arena they have over there. I don't know how many people were there, but that fits like 60,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one, this one fits like 15,
Yeah, no.
15,000. So it was different.
No, for sure. I mean, heavyweights, especially Mike Tyson.
Right.
Heavyweights just in general is like unfair, and then you add it's Mike Tyson. You just said it was the biggest fight in Japan ever, so I was like, was it bigger than that?
No, not that one. Not that.
I got you.
With a Japanese fighter, you know what I mean? So,
I got you with a Japanese fighter.
yeah.
Did you expect him to dominate so much? It's almost like he never was in trouble, never gave him.
Oh, not so easy. Not so easy. I thought Fulton was gonna have some success early on.
Yeah.
But I thought Inoue needed maybe a couple of rounds to figure him out. But I always believed Inoue had the higher IQ. I just thought it was going to take him a couple rounds to figure him out. Dude, he figured out Fulton out in the first 45 seconds. As soon as he landed the first jab to the body, he was already in control.
Yeah, and like he was just oozing in confidence, was showboating, and at no point looked nervous. It almost looked like he was like, "This is my ring. I'm just letting you in here."
Yeah, exactly. And I think Fulton was a lot of people were like, well, Inoue never fought that style before. The speed, the athleticism, that might give him trouble. Fulton being from Philadelphia in the gyms, he's seen the athleticism. No, he ain't never seen nothing like Inoue. You could tell. Like the
Yeah,
speed bothered him. The
yeah, no,
athleticism bothered him.
yeah, no, definitely, he definitely ain't seen nothing like that, and that's why I was so confident in my pick. You remember me in the spaces? I'm like, yo, this is somebody special we're watching. This is elite. This is like once in a generation, twice in a generation type fighter we're watching, and people just wasn't getting it. And I was just like, I don't know, man. And I was so surprised seeing so many people, knowledgeable people, pick Fulton. And then I'm like, all right. And then boom, he just dominated and stopped him. Do you think there's even a
Yeah.
doubt as to who's number one pound for pound in your mind?
No, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. But you know what? I don't even care about having the discussion anymore because I think pound for pound, that's whatever. They can have that on Saturday. That's for those guys. Right now, I think the argument for Inoue is where he does he rank amongst all-time greats. Because I think he's an all-time great fighter. He's with legends right now. So the
Does,
pound for pound, that's for mere mortals. Right now, just
I,
got legendary status.
does he have an argument of being the best sub 122 pounder ever? Does he have an argument? Or
Yes, yes, dude, he's already the greatest Japanese fighter of all time. He's greater than fighting Harada.
for sure?
I thought it was gonna be a long time since someone surpassed Chocolatito. He already surpassed Chocolatito. Like he already surpassed him. He's the greatest sub 122.
Oh,
Easy.
okay. Okay. And this is something where I genuinely do not know. I was asked this on the Boxing Voice, so I genuinely do not know, and I couldn't answer, but I know you would. Why did he never fight guys like Quadras or Chocolatito, Rungvisai, Estrada? These are good fights. Some Hall of Famers, or if I'm not mistaken, probably all of them are. Why did he never fight those guys?
Okay, so when he skipped 112, Chocolatito and Estrada, they were the champions at 112. Rubinside and Quadros they never fought at 112. So he skipped right to 115. Reason why he did that was because he wanted to become the fastest two division champion. Um, Previous record was held by Katsuro Ioka. And the problem with 112 was all those guys were busy. Chocolatito was busy. I think he was going to fight Yaigashi or Rocky. He was going to fight Rocky, and Estrada had a fight with Segura, and I'm not Ruin Wang had a fight with McWilliams, Arroyo. So those champions were busy. So he looked for the available champion, which was Omar Narvaez, the number one guy at 115. Um, so he fought him. Now he can that fight, and he was out for a year with the hand injury. When Estrada moved up to 115, Estrada was the WBO Super Champion, and as we know, if you're the WBO Super Champion, you are in line for the mandatory for the WBO title. Inoue was the WBO champion, so when Inoue was available and Estrada moved up, they put Estrada mandatory, and Estrada chose to go C route because that's what the money was at with Chocolatito. Chocolatito was the WBC champion.
I got you.
Um, so Estrada could have easily, as the WBO Super Champion, got the mandatory and fight Inoue, and that fight would have happened, but he chose not to. Then the WBC started ordering Estrada versus Rubinside, Chocolatito versus Rubinside. They also ordered Rubinside versus Quadras. They were just doing like this whole only them four just ordering back to back to back fights. Not one of them had a voluntary fight as a champion. Everything was a mandatory. But Chocolatito and Inoue did agree to a fight. They agreed to
Really?
fight. Yeah, they agreed to a fight. They were supposed to main event Superfly 2. But Chocolatito got knocked out on Superfly 1. That's why Inoue was the co-main. I don't know if you remember that on HBO.
I do. I do.
Yep, Inoue was the co-main event. Chocolatito and Rubinside rematch was the main event, and they also agreed that if both won, they were gonna main event Superfly 2. But obviously Chocolatito got knocked out. Then Rubinside fought Estrada instead. Did not want to fight Inoue. Inoue tried to unify with Joharwe Nakajas. He was the IBF champion. Kaha turned him down and signed with Top Rank. He tried to unify with Cal Yafai, who was the UK WBA champ. Cal Yafai turned him down. So then he just decided to move up to 118. He fought McDonald, and then he joined the tournament.
Okay.
So, and when he joined the tournament, let's think about when you joined that type of tournament, right? You joined a tournament that has three world champions at the time: Solani Tete, Emmanuel Rodriguez, and Ryan Burden. And then he has Tonel, the Hall of Famer. He joined a tournament where he could not pick his opponents, because whoever won, that's who you fought. Whatever
Yeah.
bracket you were in, that's who you fought. So he wasn't like cherry picking opponents. He just fought, all right, whatever champion moves on, that's who I'm fighting. You know what I mean?
Mhm. So I agree with you from that perspective that he's in a tournament. You can't say he fought nobody when literally they chose the best of the division, throw him in a tournament, and it's like, all right, whoever wins. Like he has to get credit for that. But getting back to the Quadras Chocolatico Rumvisai Estrada situation, how much does it hurt his legacy that he never got one of those fights? And if he was to get one of those fights, it would kind of be like, the guy's too small. The guys are older now. So like, how much does it hurt his legacy that there was a good era in that lower weights and he never got a fight with one of them?
Well, I mean, at the time, I think it hurt a little bit, especially not having the Roman Gonzalez fight, because Chocolatito was seen as the pound for pound guy. He was the money guy. He was the best guy in those weight classes. It hurt him a little bit, but it doesn't matter no more. Like he's beating Fulton. Like who's tougher, Estrada, Roman side, or Stephen Fulton at 122?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And his first fight.
In his first fight. And then if he beats the Palace, he's a two-time undisputed champion. If he goes on to 126 and does the same at 126, no one's going to remember what he did, who he missed at 115.
I got
You know what I mean?
I
No
see
one's
what
going to remember that.
So is from your sources is Inoue like pretty much versus the Palace? Is that like pretty
Yes.
like set? That's next?
Yeah. That is next. That is set up. And they also got the co-main event set up, which will be Inoue's brother defending his WBA title at 118 against Herwin Nakajas.
And
So
that'll
it's going to
be
be
New Year's Eve.
what?
New
No,
Year's
not New
Eve?
Year's Eve. No, November. We're looking at November.
Really? Okay, that's a
Yeah,
okay. All right, I like it.
yeah.
So does Tapales provide any kind of resistance? Does he have any chance of troubling Inoue possibly winning?
He doesn't. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this is a formality. Only chance he has is it doesn't take it serious, and hurts his hand, ankle, whatever in the fight or what have you. But outside of that, he doesn't really. This is just a formality, and then I think the big fight next year is going to be the Robesi Ramirez fight.
Yeah, I mean, Top Rank got 126 on lock. Really, if you look at it, they got Luis Alberto Lopez, who, in my opinion, is the best at 126 currently. Then they got Robesi Ramirez as well, and then they have a few other contenders. I can't name off the top of my head, but you already got half the belts there. If Inoue's goal is to go undisputed there, shit, half the belts on that side anyways. So I what's his name? Robesi being his co-main event, I could definitely see that fight happening down the line. That was a good play by Top Rank.
Yep, exactly. And I think they did that on purpose. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and Robesi fought a Japanese fighter. So somewhat, I'm sure people are somewhat familiar with him.
I agree.
Yeah. What weight do you see Inoue topping out at? Because people were like, yo, I want to see him against Tank. I want to see him against Shakur. I'm like, whoa.
Well, that shows his greatness, though, right? Think about it. He's a 122 guy, and you're thinking, well, man, he has no competition except for 135 guys. That's his only competition, right? Man, before he fought Fulton, I thought maybe 126 would be his where he tops out at. I think maybe 130. He walks around at 140.
Okay, so he's not tiny. Yeah, if he walks
Yeah,
around.
yeah, he's not tiny. So so I think he'll top out at 130. If we talk about way down the road though, we talk about
Yeah.
4 years down the road, 5 years. If the tank fight is still there, maybe at 135, and he's still winning, maybe he
Yeah,
goes
I can
after
see
it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, but we talk about like 4 or 5 years down the road.
yeah, I agree. So,
Yeah.
one of the things that people have been messaging me, and even got brought up in the space, is like that Inoue will be Hector Luis Garcia right now at 130. I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here, man. Like the guy is good. He's my number one pound for pound, but at some point, weight, you gotta respect weight.
You gotta respect weight, and then also Garcia is not a small guy. I don't think. I think he's a pretty big 130. He's like what 5'9". He's
Yeah,
like
he's
5'9",
5'9".
right?
Yeah,
Yep.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I did hear Robert Garcia's son, Pita. Pita feels Inoue can beat Hector Garcia. Yeah, to me, I gotta see him at 126
Yeah.
first. Now, if he's dominated, like if he's like knocking, Lopez out at 126, and he's knocking out, Robeisio
Romacy.
Ramirez at 126, and he goes and knocks out Figueroa at 126. Then I'm like, maybe he
No,
could beat
no.
Robert Hector Garcia. Maybe I don't know.
Now, if he does that,
Yeah,
I might pick him.
yeah,
If he does
yeah. Yeah, because like at some point though, just the weight class is gonna matter. You know what I mean? He won't be able
exactly.
to knock everyone out. So
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
people go, oh, weight ain't shit. It's like, yeah, weight ain't shit until it is. You know what I'm saying?
well,
If that's
exactly,
the case, why Crawford
exactly.
don't fight better be if weight
Yeah,
ain't
right.
shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. And I
Yeah,
think that's what people are gonna find out with Jermel versus Canelo. They're gonna realize that the weight matters. You just can't jump up that many weight classes and be like, hey, I'm good to go. I'm still got everything.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Since we were talking about Hector, I wanted to ask you this. So, fucking Dominican boxing fans hate you.
Well, I didn't know they knew me, but all right.
I know. I don't want to say Dominican boxing fans, but I want to say at least once a month I get sent a tweet. Maybe not once a month. That may be doing it, but every now and then I get a tweet sent to me from a Dominican boxing fan of something you sent, and they want me to go say something. What is it? What is it with you and the trolling of the Dominican boxing? Is
Man,
that just you
it's
having
something.
fun?
No, it just be having fun, but it's also me. Well, I think you kind of agree because you used to say this is not the same Dominicans as before, right?
It's true.
There was a reputation with Dominican fighters. They're very talented. Like no one's gonna deny their talent. Very talented, but they just were missing an it factor. Maybe they didn't train hard enough. Maybe it was the dedication. I don't know, but they were just missing something. Like Joan Guzman, skill for skill, one of the best fighters maybe ever. All right, but he should have been a lot greater than what he turned out to be.
Yeah.
But the dedication probably wasn't there. He
Yeah.
ate himself out of a division for some reason.
Yeah.
It's just not there. So so I had that going, but then it just became kind of jokes. But there's some good Dominican fighters. Like I think Hector Garcia, I think he's a good fighter. I really think he's a good fighter.
No, I know. He's probably your favorite. I remember you
Yeah,
speaking on, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
saw you tweet about De Los Santos.
De Los Santos. I thought De Los Santos was very impressive. The way he beat Ardono.
Yeah. I
He
agree.
put it all together. Yeah.
Honestly, I think De Los Santos is the best out of the crop right now. Just seeing he has everything. He has the footwork. He has the speed. He has the power. And he told me he's really a 130 pounder. He's fighting at 35 for for opportunity wise. So he's not going to be struggling with the weight for a while. He's going to be in this division for a long time.
Is he also the youngest, or is Elvis the youngest?
No, he's younger than Elvis. Elvis is actually not old, but like older. I think he's 28. So Elvis is actually, yeah. It's the youngest is him, Edwin, and Luis Reynaldo Nunez. He's a 126 pounder. They're both like 23. So,
Okay. Yeah. But De Los Santos, he has a good future. I like to see him fight. Man, I want to see him fight Frank Martinez. I think that's a good fight.
That's the fight I want to see. Yo, and
Yep.
you know what's weird on Twitter? When you say you want to see a fight, the fans think you shitting on the other fighter.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, bro, I want to see a fight. They both on the same. People keep tweeting me. They want to see Shakur. bro, I get it. That's the fight he wants. That's the fight you want. That's cool. But I don't work in fantasy land. Yo, the fight to make is they on the same timeline, 4 week apart, which I thought they should have fought in the same card. But
Right.
story for another day. They fought a week apart. They on the same side of the street. They both have some WBC Intercontinental belt, whatever. So they both go on that same route. Yo, fight each other right there. Yeah, there's no excuses. There's no rhyme or reason why that fight can't be nice.
Exactly. And let me tell you, I saw Frank Martin for last fight, and I think that fight's a lot closer. Like I thought De Los Santos was more impressive than Frank Martin last fight.
I would agree. And again, not being biased, although it's hard for people to believe when I say I'm not being biased, but I would pick De Los Santos to win that fight. I would. I confidently too. You don't agree?
No, I don't know if I'll pick him to win, but I think it's a lot closer fight than before.
For sure.
A lot closer. Yeah,
I think a lot of people saw that De Los Santos had a lot more skills than
yeah, he's versatile. He got some versatility.
Like, people just thought he was a wild brawler. They saw the high knockout percentage, and then like, wait a minute, like this guy can do this too.
So and he has power. You know what I mean? So it'll be a really good fight for Frank. Also, I think both of them. It'll be a good fight for both. I think, and then the winner. Now you're talking about is a serious threat to 135.
Yeah, and this is, and I know you're not a Canelo fan, but this is one of the things that I say when I defend Canelo is like, yo, if you can't get a Canelo fight each other then. So
yeah,
fighting Frank, that would be like, yo, I want Tank. Everybody wants Tank. I want to fight fucking Tank. You know what I'm saying? But you can't go, yo, fight me. No, all right. Yo, fight me. No, all right. Yo, Frank, I want you. Yo, fight me. No, all right. Yo, Lomachenko, I want you. Yo, no, all right. Yo, Shakur, I want you. And then when you get enough of those wins, and then you go, yo, bro, at some point you got to fight me. I've beaten everybody around me. Every potential opponent you would have fought, I just beat. You got to fight me. And that's why I always say, yo, if you can't get the big fight, and I'm not knocking nobody for trying, yo, you know what you do after that? You fight the guys around you. You fight, all right, this guy's ranked number 4, I'm ranked number 5. This guy's ranked number 2, I'm ranked number 3. This guy's ranked number 6, I'm ranked number 7. All right, and try to move up the ladder to the point where the pressure from the fans force the fighter to fight you.
I agree. Completely agree. But you got to make the fight.
Yeah, you know? For sure. But before I let you go, I want to hear your breakdown of Spence Crawford. It's literally 3 days away. How do you see that fight going, and who you got winning?
Bro, I'm having the hardest time with this fight because I can see it both ways. Honestly, I can see, and I can see the ebb and flows for each guy throughout the fight. Where Crawford just catching him with some big shots, or Fulton. Spence. He over here just putting all his combination and the pressure just getting to Crawford. I think I'm going to stay with Crawford by late stoppage, but I am not confident at all.
It's not a fight you bet.
Zero confidence.
It's not. No,
man, no.
Me neither. I'm not touching.
Yeah.
It. I'm not.
Dude, that's a very, very tough fight. I think that's a true 50-50. People try to say Inoue, Fulton was 50-50. I favored Inoue. I think this one though is the real 50-50 fight. I don't see a favorite here, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought Inoue was going to dominate. So so when people were saying that was 50-50, so I was more excited because that was going to be his coming out party. I was excited because people were sleeping on him. But this fight, man, I've done flip-flop like 3-4 times already. I finally narrowed it down probably like a month ago, and I picked Crawford. I'm like, just because of the layoff, the accident, there's a lot of like, is he gonna struggle to make weight till 54? Yo, I saw Spence at the Michelle Rivera Frank Martin fight. Yo, he was looking a little chubby, man. He had a little gut on him. Was looking heavy. His chest, his arms looked puffy. I was like, I looked at him. I was like, what the fuck? You not in the gym? You not eating healthy? So, and I don't got to worry about that with Crawford. Crawford's always in the
Nah,
gym.
man, dude, he's always in shape. Always
Were
in
you
shape.
were you on the space? Were you on the space where Bomac hopped on and he said that he sometimes he has to throw Bud out the gym?
No, I wasn't there. I wasn't on
Yeah,
that
but
one.
point he said that in the space. He was like, yo, sometimes we have to go. Yo, literally, take those gloves off and get the fuck out. He's like, you're done for the day. So you're dealing with somebody like that, with somebody else who has personal stuff, dealt with, with drinking and car accident and the weight and this, and then he looks big, and it's like, and you look at this guy, this guy's fucking getting kicked out of a gym. I'm like, I gotta go with that guy. But with all that being said, this is a true 50-50 fight. I would not be surprised if either one won by knockout or if either one won by decision. I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Me neither. Me neither, man.
Yeah.
But real quick before I go,
Yeah.
uh, since you are the expert of Dominican boxing, explain to me why the Dominicans of the past didn't reach their full potential.
Well, there's a few reasons. There's a few reasons. I'll give you the two main reasons. Honestly, I'm gonna give you the main. It's the culture, the Dominican culture, man. Dominican culture. First of all our food is unhealthy. Everything is delicious. So when we miss weight, just know we enjoyed our food. We had a good time. It's unhealthy, every single bit of it. Mango, all of that. So this part of that is the culture, and then and what I mean by that, besides the food, which is part of the culture, obviously, Dominican culture is a party culture. We go out every weekend. There's every weekend up in Dykeman or in Washington Heights or in the Bronx, here in New York City. The clubs are packed with Dominicans. I'm not a club guy, but you go there, and I used to go to the club every single weekend. And sometimes I would drink, sometimes I wouldn't. But drinking is part of the Dominican culture, and eating healthy and eating unhealthy. And after the clubs, you go and you eat out. You go to the fritura spot or you get a chimi. It's more the culture that happens. We had a lot of talented guys, and we also, for whatever reason, we always have like good punchers. It's just, again, the culture. That's what it is. That's really what it is. People get it.
Do you think these new era Dominicans are more disciplined?
I know they are. I know they are because. So when I interviewed the Dominican Olympic coach, he started telling me how he grabbed, how he became the coaches. Team Cuba went to DR for like a DR versus Cuba event, and Cuba like dominated, and the Cuban government like hired him, was like, yo, like, how about you train our team? So he was like, all right, but I got to start off with the young guys first, like the junior Olympic team, because I want to grow the program. So he did that. And when he grabbed the junior Olympic team, Elvis was on there. Hector was on there. Carlos was on there. Who else? I think I a few other guys, but those are the guys off the top of my head. So he implemented like discipline on them. And while he was doing that, he was teaching the Dominican trainers how to train and stuff like that. He's currently now the Olympic coach, but he grew these guys and taught them. It's not just being disciplined like, in the gym, but it's being disciplined outside the gym and not eating and not drinking and not doing this and some of them still do. I'm not gonna say they all innocent, but he really explained to them a culture from a like how to live your life, not just how to be a boxer. Like I was in one of their hotel rooms one time. I won't mention name, but yo, he was packing his luggage. Yo, that shit looked like a fucking shit out of a movie. It was so neat and perfect. I'm like, yo, bro, like, just throw your fucking clothes in. You're going back to DR. It was after a fight. He's like, nah. And he was like, and he told me, he was like, that coach, Armando Hernandez, who I want to give him his credit, he's like, taught us that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So they want to make sure they do everything right to be prepared in the fight. So I think that's the biggest difference. Also, a lot of them not training in New York, going to Las Vegas. New York, man, you're gonna run into some big booty Dominican chick that's gonna get you off your fucking rocker. You go to fucking Las Vegas, you don't know nobody, ain't no Dominicans there, you don't know where the clubs are at. You're gonna be dedicated. So it's a lot of variables, but those are the main reasons as to why Dominican boxing has changed.
All right. That's good to know, man. But all right, thank you for having me, man. I'm gonna get out of here.
Nah,
You have a good one.
I appreciate you hopping on, man. I really do, man. All right. All right, guys. You know what? I had Pete hopping on. He was on here, and he had clicked the link, but my man J-Ro had hopped on, so I wanted to give him the opportunity to come back if that's what he wanted to do. So the link is there, or if anybody wants to hop in, chime in, give their opinion on Crawford and Spence, give their opinion on the fight last. I was gonna say last night, but yesterday morning. In Inoue Fulton, man. The link is in the chat. I'll be live on for. I'm gonna give it another 10. If nobody, excuse me, if nobody hops on, I'll just I'll just get off and enjoy the rest of my night. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this Saturday. This Saturday is going to be one of this week has been one of, if not the best week in boxing history. The fact that you get the number one, by the way, the number one pound for pound fighter will be fighting this week. Whether you think that's Inoue who just won or the winner of this Saturday. But either way, in 1 week, you saw a top 3 pound for pound fighter on and you might have seen all 3 in 1 week. So this is definitely one of the best weeks. Hold on, I got my man Pete. De lo mío, que lo que, mi hermano?
Que lo que? What's good, Joel?
Chilling, man. What's good with you? How's everything? You excited?
Good.
August 4th?
Excited. Hell yeah, I'm excited, bro. My shit came, by the way.
Woo! Dominican boxing. Talk to me about the quality of the shirt, man.
Yo, it's good quality. No.
Crazy,
I could work out in this. I could do anything. Yo, this is great because the boxers can wear it while they work out or while they do anything.
Yeah. No, and
I'm
that's
definitely
why
rocking it.
That's why I tell people, if you're going to complain about the price, just know you're not going to complain about the quality. Quality is top notch. I made sure I spent the best money possible on the shirt. Just so, like I said, when you wear that, you're not going to, it don't look like a gym shirt. It looked like something fresh. You could.
No, I do. I was surprised. I was like, wait, hold up. Why I feel like this?
Yeah, man. That's how I try to stress the quality, man. But
good shit.
I got so far we got 21 people going to Pennsylvania to go watch the fight. That's a lot. That's a lot of Dominicans, man.
A lot of flags.
Yeah, we got 21 Dominicans. They going to Pennsylvania August 4th. We're gonna watch my man Errol Garcia fight Jordan White. It's actually a showbox card, but I'm as excited for that fight as I am any other fight, including this Saturday. And I know, that's crazy to say, motherfucker, I'm the voice of Dominican boxing. I could get excited for a Dominican fight as much as I can for Spence Crawford. I'm excited because me and Errol, that's my man. Y'all already see him. I got him on every Sunday. And yeah, man. And this is his first fight, a main event on Showtime. Driving distance from me, shit, I'm definitely there. I'm staying there though. I'm staying in PA.
Yeah, facts. No, I got a room too, bro. I'm not driving that late. Crazy.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, yo, bro, hold on. Shout out to Roy Perez for the $1 super chat. I don't see you ain't write nothing, but if you want, type something and I'll put it up. Thank you so much for the $1 super chat. Yo, what do you think? What do you think about last night's yesterday morning's performance by Inoue?
Bro, I was in shock. First, I woke up for the Ramirez fight. He's probably like one of my favorite fighters. So I saw that. I was hyped. My girl was like, yo, what time is it? I was like, it's like 7:30. She's like, yo, why you up watching boxing? But I stayed up the whole time, bro. Con sueño y todo. Inoue fight, bro. That was crazy. I knew he was going to win. I bet on him stoppage. I think 7 through 12.
Oh, so
he got me a few coins.
Yeah.
But yo, he dominated. Like he looked unbeatable in that weight class, of course.
Do you think he's number one pound for pound?
Right now, yes. I feel like if Crawford washes Spence, I gotta give it to him.
What if it's a close fight?
Nah. If it's like a either way, like a Haney Loma fight, nah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on. If he washes him, I can't not give him number one. Or like if Spence washes Crawford.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But I was just hopping on real quick, my boy. I gotta go take care of business.
Now,
Show is fire.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Before you hop off, what's your prediction, Spence Crawford?
Well, my favorite boxer is Terence Crawford. So I don't even gotta say much more after that. But Crawford,
KO?
late stoppage.
Nah,
Yeah. Late
Okay.
stoppage. The
All
streak
right.
continues.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
He's too sharp. I love seeing him box, bro. It's quite the art.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, I'm gonna hop
I
out.
appreciate you hopping on, my
somebody
brother.
else join.
Yeah,
Chat.
man. Hit the link. If not, I'm hopping off. All right, man. Peace, man. All right. So Roy, I saw you. You got your thing up, and it says Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez. ¿Qué opina de esa pelea? Bam es bastante bueno también. So he's saying Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez. What's my opinion of that fight? And that Bam is very good as well. I think what's his name? My man Inoue destroys him. Creo que lo mata, que Inoue lo mata a Bam Rodriguez. Bam es bueno, pero él no está de ese nivel. It's a different level, man. This guy is an all-time great. Bam has not looked that sharp in his last few fights. So I'm not even gonna say he has a chance. But all right, guys, that's my live for today. It's been a good live today. Discussed a lot, broke a lot of shit down. So I appreciate everybody who hopped on, especially those who hit the likes button, who hit the subscribe button. And for those of you that went to BroadwayJoel.com and bought a shirt, special thanks to you. I hope to see y'all August 4th in Pennsylvania. Listen, if y'all can make it to Pennsylvania, Wind Creek Casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, not that far from New York, New Jersey, man. Stay the night. It's a hotel. It's a casino. So if you want to stay and gamble after or before, or if you want to rent the Airbnb with your family and go hiking and shit like that, listen, August 4th, I will be there. Take a picture with me, whatever. We could do whatever. You want to record a video, we could do that too. Go to BroadwayJoel.com. Do yourself a favor. Go buy a ticket. Go to Ticketmaster, buy a ticket. August 4th, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Erickson Garcia versus Jordan White. Buy a ticket. I'm sitting in section 101. That's the first step. Then go to BroadwayJoel.com. Buy a Broadway Joel, a Dominican boxing shirt, and then show up to the fight. You can take a picture with me. We're going to have fun, man. So far, 21 Dominicans confirmed. And that's not counting a few others that have told me they bought the tickets but haven't showed it to me. I'm only counting the people, screenshot, hey, look, I bought. So far, 21 people confirmed. We're going to PA. It's going to be a movie. Let's bring it up to 50. Let's bring it up to 200. Let's bring it up. Let's show the Dominican dollar. You know what I'm saying? That we support our fighters. And again, there's 3 Dominicans fighting. Eldy Cedeno, the #1 Dominican prospect, is fighting. You know who else is fighting? Francis Oren, a Dominican heavyweight prospect. He's going to be on that undercard. And then the main event, well, you know Dominicans don't get a lot of main events. The main event is Erickson Garcia, La Maraña, my co-host, la otra mitad de la esquina dominicana. He will be fighting in Pennsylvania. Let's go. You're getting a 3-for-1 deal. You a Dominican boxing fan and you live in New York, New Jersey, or even in PA and you're not going to this event? The tickets are $75, $100, and you're not going to this event? Come on, let's make it happen, man. Buy a ticket. Once you buy the ticket, screenshot, boom, tell me. Bring your girl, bring your friends, or if you want to just pull up by yourself because you're not going to be by yourself. I'm sitting in section 101. If you got a Dominican boxing shirt or a Dominican flag, you rolling with me and my crew. You good. So make sure y'all show up. Again, if y'all can't find nobody to come with you, don't hesitate to come by yourself. August 4th at the Wind Creek Casino. All right, guys, until next time. Peace.